Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual classroom. At present, we are studying the second chapter, and in the second chapter, in our previous lecture, we were discussing related to the colligative properties. We know that we are going to study in this chapter 4 different colligative properties. In our previous lectures, we have already discussed 3 different colligative properties. But today's colligative property is different than those 3. What is that difference? When we were studying the previous colligative properties, we told that vapor pressure was not a colligative property, but change that we get it when solvent gets converted into solution, the change that we get it in the vapor pressure was a colligative property. Similarly, boiling point was not a colligative property. The change in the boiling point that we get it, which we termed as an elevation in boiling point, rise in the boiling point, is a colligative property. Similarly, depression in freezing point was a colligative property. Freezing point was not a colligative property. Right? So whatever we studied, that was a change, rise or fall down in the properties, that was considered as a colligative property. But specifically, when we are going to study today, osmotic pressure itself is a colligative property. Here we are not going to get any kind of a change from solvent to solution. Here we are going to get the same pressure itself is going to be considered as an osmotic pressure. But this pressure, what is that pressure? Why it is termed as an osmotic pressure? So for that case, the first of all, we will understand the word osmosis. Now osmosis is a word that shows that when the flow of solvent is taking place from one place to the another. Flow of solvent, not solute. Right? So in that case, the definition for the osmosis is given out as the flow of solvent takes place through semi-permeable membrane from higher concentrated solvent to lower concentrated solvent. We already know that the flow always takes place from higher to lower. So here the word we wrote it as higher concentrated solvent to lower concentrated solvent. But somewhere the formula can be changed. The definition, particularly from here, these two lines, the flow of solvent takes place through the semi-permeable membrane from lower concentrated solution to higher concentrated solution. This word can also be written. Now is it different? Here we wrote it higher to lower, and here I am writing lower concentrate to higher concentrate. So in that case, both the cases are same. I am using over there as solvent, here I used as a solution. What is the difference? Higher concentrated solvent means large amount of the solvent is there in the solution. Solute is very, very small. If the quantity of the solute is less, we know that it is considered to be as a low concentrated solution. Similarly, low concentrated solvent means where the solute is in the large amount, solvent is very small. So concentration of the solution will be very high, and the flow is taking place only of solvent, and that also from higher to lower. So we can say that lower concentrated solution is having higher concentration of solvent. So word can be written as lower concentrated solvent to solution to higher concentrated solution also. Right? Okay. Now during this case, the flow is taking place. Flow is taking place from where? The word we wrote it, semi-permeable membrane, which we also write it as SPM, semi-permeable membrane. What is semi-permeable membrane? The membrane which allows only solvent to pass through it and not a solute. The membrane which allows only solvent to pass through it and not a solute. For that, the examples we are having it, semi-permeable membrane, we are having cellophane paper. Or we can say it as parchment paper. These are the types of particular filter papers. That normal filter paper we are using it. These are the special type of filter papers. But in the chemistry point of view, the main important is Cu2FeCN6 copper hexacyanoferrate. This is the one of the most important SPM chemistry point of view. In the laboratory, particularly whenever the semi-permeable membrane is to be used, generally be used as SPM as Cu2FeCN6. Particularly in our body also, there is a semi-permeable membrane in a form of urinary bladder. It also allows only unrequired water materials to be out of it. Required useful components of the solute are reabsorbed from the kidney during the process. So it also works as a type of an SPM. Right? So that is semi-permeable membrane. Now, what is it? On the form of a diagram, a simple rough diagram. I am plotting it as a rough diagram. I have taken it as a container. I placed one SPM in between it. I allowed it an SPM, semi-permeable membrane, to divide it into two parts. In the one of it, I placed pure solvent. And over here, we are going to place it containing solute also. That means this is solution. So in this case, the flow of solvent is going to take place through semi-permeable membrane. The flow is going to take place from pure solvent to solution, because pure solvent has a quantity of solvent more. In the solution, the quantity of the solvent is replaced by solute. So here solvent is less. So flow takes place from pure solvent to solution. This is known as osmosis. Now, I want to stop this flow. I don't want to allow the solvent to flow through it. So what will happen? I will apply a pressure. A pressure will be applied on it in such a way that this flow keeps stop out. It does not take place. Flow stops out. The pressure which is required to stop the osmosis through semi-permeable membrane is considered to be as a osmotic pressure. The pressure required to stop the osmosis through semi-permeable membrane is known as osmotic pressure. Its symbol is used pi. Make it sure it's not 3.14. Its value can be it's a symbol that is used as pi. It's not the value. Osmotic pressure required to stop the osmosis through semi-permeable membrane is known as osmotic pressure. Now, how this pressure can be calculated for the different solutions? So in that case, again, like an colligative property, we know it. Colligative property depends only on number of ions and concentration. Similarly, osmotic pressure also depends on concentration. But additional to it, osmotic pressure is a factor which also depends on temperature. It depends on temperature. As a result, in the previous formula, or in the previous colligative property when we were studying it, all of them were dependent on molality, right? We know it, weight of solute into 1000 upon molar mass into weight of solvent. We were calculating over there, they were directly proportional to small m. Osmotic pressure is directly proportional to capital M. It's proportional to molarity, right? So this is a particularly an osmotic pressure. It's a somewhat different, right? So what we got it here, pi, it's proportional to concentration. This concentration in terms of molarity, right? Pi is also proportional to temperature. Therefore, we can say it as pi is proportional to concentration into temperature. If I remove the proportionality sign, I am going to pi CRT. Concentration in terms of molarity, gas constant is a GR and T is a temperature. This is gas constant and its value is going to be 0.082 if it is liter atmosphere and 0.083 if it is liter bar. So depending upon the pressure, the unit of the pressure, the value we will be taking it. T is a temperature. Now, if I want to elaborate this formula, I want to expand it. So can I say that C is number of moles per volume because it is in the terms of molarity, RT. So can I write it as pi is equals to nRT by V? Okay, again we know it, number of moles. It can be written as weight upon molar mass into volume upon, that is WRT by MV, where W is a weight of solute, R is a gas constant, T temperature, M is molarity, molar mass, and V is a volume. Again I want to change it. Mass by volume. What is it? Rho RT. That is density. So pi is equals to rho RT by M. Rho is a density, gas constant, temperature upon molar mass. So all this one, first, maybe second, maybe third or fourth, they all are the same formula, only in the different terms. But in exam this can become one of the multiple choice question for us. Which of the following is a formula to calculate the osmotic pressure? 3 of them may be written and the fourth option may be all of them. Generally student makes an error, CRT, CRT, CRT. It can be in the elaborated form, right? All of these are the formula to calculate the osmotic pressure. But like other colligative property, this osmotic pressure is also very useful to calculate the molar mass of the given substance. How to make it? We know it. We are having it as a formula. Just I will take this formula as to calculate the molar mass. We wrote it over here. Pi is equals to WRT by MV. M is a molar mass. So M is equals to WRT by pi V. A formula to calculate the molar mass of the solute that is added in the solvent to form a solution. Now, these are the osmotic pressures. We told it straight away, in the solution osmotic pressure is there. But during this osmotic pressure, if I am taking it as in 2 different solutions and I want to compare it, I have taken it as 2 different solutions. This I am going to run it as solution 1. I am putting it as in solution 2. The flow of it's taking place. This is SPM. This is solvent. This is solution. So flow is taking place from solvent to solution. Same way here also, solvent to solution. Now I am applying the pressure. Osmotic pressure is applied on it. In both the cases, osmotic pressure is applied on it. Now during this case, I am having two different solutions, and for both the solutions, the osmotic pressure required is same. For both the solutions, though they are different, take it as an example. I am taking it here urea, I am taking it here glucose. I have taken two different substances. One is having molar mass 60, one is having molar mass 180. But still, the osmotic pressure required to stop the osmosis in both the solutions, if they are same, then what is it termed as? They are considered as isoosmotic solution. Solutions having same osmotic pressure are considered as isoosmotic solutions. They are considered as isoosmotic solutions. Same osmotic pressure. Right? Now a small change in it. Solutions having same osmotic pressure and same concentration, then such solutions are known as isotonic solutions. See, the word is changed. Only if osmotic pressures are same, isoosmotic. If osmotic pressure as well as concentration are same, then they are termed as isotonic solutions. Right? Okay. Similarly, now if they are same, we told isoosmotic or isotonic. If they are different, then the solution which has lower osmotic pressure is known as hypotonic solution. If we compare it and one is having lower osmotic pressure, then the solution with a lower osmotic pressure is considered to be as a hypotonic solution. The solution which has higher osmotic pressure is known as hypertonic solution. So hyper and hypotonic. Lower osmotic pressure, hypotonic. Higher osmotic pressure, it's termed as hypertonic solution. Particularly, and one of the example that is there for us, which is in our body, that is blood. Blood forms an hypertonic solution, or we can say it at 0.91 concentration, 0.91% W by V. If sodium chloride solution is taken, it's an isotonic with blood. Greater than that, it's an hyper, and if the concentration is less than it, it's an hypotonic solution. So 0.91% is specifically considered of sodium chloride solution is considered to be as an isoosmotic solution or isotonic solution with blood. This is one of the most important example that we have to remember. Now we studied this osmotic pressure, we got the formula, we want to remember the formula. It's going to be very important. We told already that it's useful to calculate the molar mass, and particularly osmotic pressure is a colligative property which is used to calculate the molar mass of polymer substances, large molecular substances. Right? If we are having small molecular substances, molality is very useful, but for polymer substances, specifically for polymer substances, osmotic pressure is very useful, and that's the reason why we want to remember the formula which we are going to use it to calculate numericals based on it in our next lecture. But before we go it for the numericals, we will be also going it for the another topic known as reverse osmosis, which we will discuss it in our next lecture. Thank you.